Hello and welcome back to
The Zak
and Buzz
Review.
So we're talking about Hot D Season 2, Episode 2.
Love a bit of Hot D.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Okay, so in Episode 2 we're following the fallout of obviously the heir to the throne has been decapitated.
Yes.
And, okay, so obviously Otto Hightower, he kind of does...
He gets really miffed.
He gets really miffed and starts putting further plans in motion.
Well, he has to, doesn't he?
He has to make the best of the situation.
He has to try and turn the
shock
of the people in favour of the
crown, exactly,
and to try and get all the lords and barons and everybody around to back them up if they're going to end up going to war, which he successfully kind of does.
Yeah, because obviously initially it's the assumption that not Daenerys, it's Rhaenyra Targaryen has sent names. The assassins, but obviously she has no knowledge.
She knew nothing.
It was all Daemon.
Yes,
it's all Daemon.
But she does discover and goes, "You idiot!
You absolute!
They're all going to think it was me.
I can't trust you anymore."
Yes.
So Daemon, when obviously that happens, he goes off,
flies away on his. What is his name? His dragon. It's quite a skinny little thing.
It's not Cyrax. It's Craxus or something.
It's a very skinny dragon. Anyway, if you know what it is, put it in the comments.
It kind of looks like one of those flying things from Avatar.
Yeah,
but
it's got like a forked tail or something.
It's got kind of extra flappy legs.
Anyway, yeah, so he flies off, sees what happens with him, he's in a bit of a huff. But we have this like, we've got to save the day by having a procession with the poor kid's body on a cart.
So you can see that they've stitched the head back on.
And honestly, I thought when the cart, we said that cart is going to stop and the head's going to fall off. Which it didn't.
It didn't.
But the cart did get stuck in a rut.
It did.
It gets stuck in a rut, and it came out of the main Red Keep gate, which actually in a similar scene from season 1, a cart came out and crushed a movie camera.
A multi-$1,000
camera, which they had it in the ground trying to do an undershot,
and they ran it over.
Which was quite ouch. But there you go. But so yeah, that's quite fun for me.
They got insurance.
It's quite fun for me and you because we watch it and we go, oh yeah, we recognise that. Anyway, so they have this procession and
to kind of get that national kind of pride back.
The Queen,
kind of like people rooting for the crown,
and the Queen who is
hate Rhaenyra.
Yeah, the Queen who is a little bit scatty. I don't quite know why.
Scatty.
You know, she's a little bit.
Oh, what?
You know, the people are getting near me. You know, she's got mental issues, obviously.
Her kid just got decapitated by assassins.
I know, but she already suffers from some kind of mental condition, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And
well, she seems to almost like interpret events before they happen sometimes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a kind of backstory we'll find with her.
Exactly.
I don't know. But I actually thought that scene with the cart was going to go further than it did. But it just got to that point where the crowd was getting a bit close and she wasn't happy, and then it cut from that.
Well, on the side of the side of the Westeros, or whatever you want to call it, King's Landing, the King's Landing stuff. Obviously, Otto Hightower then gets absolutely peed off with Aegon, who's the king, because he has killed all of the rat catchers of the castle.
Well, actually, it starts off with the gold cloak. They capture the gold cloak, who actually has the head, hence why the head is now stitched back onto its body.
He got off lightly, I think.
Yeah, because again, I thought, whoa, this is going to go down that Game of Thrones corridor of torture, being really nasty. And in comes the hobble-legged guy whose name escapes me, and he unrolls his little roll of torture tools, and the gold cloak says, "Is the king gonna hurt me?" And then the king walks in with a dirty, great big mace, basically, and smacks him around the head, which probably killed him. And if it did, then he got off lightly. So there you go.
Oh, I mean, he gives up. He gives up who hired him in the first place immediately before he even gets tortured.
I'll tell you everything.
It was Daemon Targaryen.
I'm going to tell everybody. But see, if that was Joffrey that had come into that cell, he wouldn't have hit him with a club.
No, he would have tortured him.
He would have tortured him long and slow. And it would have been quite graphic, I dare say.
Sadistic.
So they kind of... I was surprised they sort of cut through it in just literally giving him a clubbing.
But in that instance, he gives up the rat catcher, but he doesn't give a name. So the king rounds up all the rat catchers and hangs
a lot.
all of them.
Which again is a bit odd, because you think if you're the rat catcher whom has been given half of the money, and because of the seriousness of the deed, you would have been out of there. Yeah. What's the point in hanging around in King's Landing? You would have been out with your bag of money.
And we do discover that the rat catcher does get caught and hanged.
Yes, but the thing is, if that would have been the case, then they could have rounded up all the rat catchers, and the rat catchers would have said, "Oh, for want of another word, Bert's not here. Where's Bert? There's a rat catcher missing," and that would have possibly have saved their lives. But there you go. But because he hung all the rat catchers, that means now all the public, because obviously the rat catchers had families and children and everything. So
this pisses off Otto Hightower, who's the hand of the king, obviously.
And
he's like, all the work we've just put into getting all this
everybody on our side,
we've just destroyed it.
You've turned the people against us now.
Yeah.
And the king is getting rather irate and saying all he wants is revenge. And so we that was probably where I felt that this whole episode was building towards Otto Hightower losing, being the hand of the king. Because the guy who I again can't remember his name, who's got the club foot, was put the suggestions into the king's head in episode 1.
Perhaps you should have a different hand.
Yes, he was the hand to your father, but you're not your father, And so obviously that's got in there, but it hasn't got his way, has it?
No!
Because
this was probably the most surprising part of this episode. It was the fact that Kristen Cole, who was like the Lord Commander of the King's Guard,
who was having it away with his mother, the King's mother, at the time.
Anyway.
Yeah. He was banging the Queen. Basically.
No, the Queen Mother.
Queen Mother, yeah, the Queen Mother, yeah.
Okay.
So he's banging the Queen Mother.
Do you have to say it like that?
Yeah, all right.
Intimate relations.
Bumping uglies. There you go. Anyway, whatever they were doing, he wasn't there to protect the king.
He is now the hand of the king.
Yes.
Because of his plans to get revenge upon the revenge.
Yes.
For the other death.
But Mr. Clubfoot, who I think was hinting that he should be the hand, didn't get it.
No.
And he hasn't found out yet.
No. So Kristen Cole is now
the hand of the
king.
And Mr. Clubfoot is going to find out probably in the next episode of what's happened.
Yeah.
And get really annoyed at that.
Exactly.
But it is interesting because what we skipped over was the fact that he had sent the brother, the twins.
Yeah, the two twins that had kind of gone either side.
One's with the gold cloaks with the king.
Yeah, and one's
over with
Dragonstone with Rhaenyra Targaryen as one of the guards there.
Because they've got split loyalties. So he says, right, he kind of gets him in this.
He's forced.
He gets him in the scene where he has a go at him for no good reason. Because he's obviously his objective is to make him prove himself. Yeah. And so sends him off to kill his brother. And that's where we get into a game.
Well, he's not off to kill his brother. He's to impersonate his brother to kill the queen. Yeah, or the usurper queen.
He has got to impersonate his brother. That's correct.
To kill Rhaenyra.
But ends up inevitably having a fight with his brother.
I honestly thought that this conflict between the two brothers was going to last a lot longer.
Yeah, I thought they would be two sort of long-lasting
because they were obviously
characters.
Progressively introduced in the first season, and episode 2 of season 2, and they're both dead. I didn't expect that.
To be fair, they could have done a bit of a twist on that.
Yeah.
Because they could have killed one of them off, kept one of them, who then could have sworn that he was the good one.
Yeah. And then gone back and pretend to be the bad one.
Or basically, he professes. They could have said, "We can't trust you. We're gonna have to put you in a cell." And eventually, he gains the trust of the again, but only later on in the show to turn around and turns out that actually, he's the one who's
talking about cells. It was because the White Worm lady, who was kind of with Daemon, but then isn't anymore, and was kind of couldn't be trusted by anyone.
Yeah. She was going back down to catch a boat.
Being released by Rhaenyra to go off into wherever she wanted to go, but she noticed the brother, who was going to impersonate the other brother. So she went back to warn her.
But then we never got to see that warning, did we? She never got to the thing.
No.
But this.
But that's probably why the other brother came to the bedchamber.
Yes.
To then have a fight.
But this brings up, there were two things in this particular part of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's one which I said was very similar to Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
And it's something that you commented on.
Yeah.
Which is?
Fast travel.
Yes.
It seems to be...
The thing.
A thing that stuck from season 8 of Game of Thrones, that people could conveniently travel long distances...
In no time at all.
Which...
Yeah, it used to take literally weeks for people to get from King's Landing to the Wall.
It took an entire season for Arya to get up north from King's Landing. An entire season.
Exactly.
Whereas somebody's hopping from King's Landing to Dragonstone in no time at all.
Yeah, it gets a boat, goes there, and is there before you know it. So it's like, are these right next to each other? I don't think they are. Or somebody's got a map somewhere.
If it were via dragon, maybe, but by boat... But it's a minor niggle in an otherwise flawless thing.
But I had a niggle.
There is one.
I had a niggle. And that is, the lady, she's the daughter
Baylor.
Yeah, she's been asked to go...
She is the daughter of Daemon.
And she has been asked to take her dragon and go and keep an eye on, at distance and at height, to keep an eye on King's Landing.
Yeah.
See what's going on, which is fine. But then we see her later on in the episode. She hasn't even actually left yet.
No.
But she's doing a bit of crossbow practice. And it's like, come on. Weapons,
it's a minor niggle, but
prop master, come on. Yeah, this is a crossbow, right? And now this crossbow is a small crossbow.
Yeah.
It's got no stirrup on it, if I recall. No. So you can't put your foot through it to actually pull it and load it.
It's a pretty compact crossbow.
And if you look at the close shot on it, the actual bowstring is really thick and heavy. Yeah. You might be thinking, what is he prattling on about? But the fact is, she seems to be just loading it and firing it and loading it and firing it. Like it's like nothing, like it's a children's toy. And it's like, that's not a crossbow. You know?
A crossbow is what Joffrey had.
Yes.
He had the hand crank.
He had the hand crank on his big one to get it to work. And that's the thing. So, to load a crossbow takes a lot of strength. And you don't just stand there having a chat and then you fire one.
And loading it.
Or putting another quarrel in it. And it's like, it's little things like that you think, hang on, props department and especially whoever's in charge of the weapons.
Well, in that sense, I think for the wider audience, it's going to be I probably wouldn't even think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
But we obviously we know
we use crossbows, both.
Yeah, we've got
both modern and medieval.
Traditional.
Yeah. So, but it's like if you're going to make something and have sword fights in it, okay, have dragons in it, but don't have a fantasy crossbow that seems to load itself. That seems a bit bonkers, really. But there you go.
Whether or not it comes up again, I don't know.
I don't know. But if it was me, I would have just shot it in a way where I would have stuck a stirrup on it and I would have had her bend over and even to a point where the camera angle, you can't actually see her pulling it. Yeah. It's just like click and then she puts it up, puts a quarrel on it, shoots it. It would have been difficult, wouldn't it?
In this sense, probably a better weapon to have had would have been a bow. That would have been way more... believable.
Actually, when you consider, right, so if you're a dragon rider, and you're on the back of a dragon,
good luck loading a crossbow.
And one other thing she did with it was she put a quarrel on it, and then just sort of dropped it down, pointing at the ground, talking. That would have just dropped off. They don't just stay there, unless you can click them into a certain, a lot of those medieval ones they just drop off. But so if you're on the back of a dragon, okay, so I'm posing this to you. Okay. You're on the back of a dragon.
I'm imagining I'm on the back of a dragon.
What would be easier, but to have, say, some quivers of arrows
on the dragon
and a bow, so you can pull an arrow out.
Well, imagine having one of those scorpion things on the back of a dragon. That'd be cool.
Okay, so if you've got a winding crossbow, built onto the saddle, and you're flying around, you've got sugar badoodas. I've got to wind this up, and then
a swivel turret.
Then I've got to get a quarrel on it to stay on. Yeah, that would be really slow.
Yeah,
if you got one with a stirrup, you wouldn't even be able to use it. And certainly,
you may as well just use the dragon.
And certainly, you wouldn't be able to just hand pull it, stick the butt against your chest and like pull it, because But a normal bow, say a horse bow or something like that, you could be rattling off half a dozen arrows in under a minute.
You can Lego last that.
That's it, Lego last it. Just so arrows would be far better. But whatever. The choice was a crossbow.
I think that niggle was slightly blown out of proportion there, but hey.
Hey, yeah, we all have
the writing's good.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
The writing is good.
The acting is great.
I know. If the only criticisms are just those two things, the fast travel and the crossbow in this episode, great.
Yeah, but they don't really affect the episode.
Exactly.
I mean, I will say one thing though. Again, you got, and I've said this referring to Doctor Who, the new series.
Yeah.
But there you have Matt Smith, and when you're watching him play Daemon Targaryen, you don't think Doctor Who, do you? You can't. I think I think from series 1 he nailed it. You might come into it looking at it's Matt Smith, ergo Doctor Who. But in season 1 he nailed it, and now when I watch that, I'm watching his character.
Yeah.
He's playing a different character. It's not like he's playing Doctor Who.
No, he's definitely not playing Doctor Who.
Exactly, but that's why I had a problem with the new Doctor Who's, because it's kind of.
I mean, Shooty.
Shooty's not actually like playing. He's
just playing himself.
Playing himself. So, so actors kind of need to play the role that they're given. Yeah. And that's what I like about that's what I like about a character actor. There's somebody that can do that. And so when you watch a role, you're not watching the person and saying, "Oh, here I am watching this particular actor," but you believe every character that they are being.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Smith is doing a grand job.
It's an admirable job.
Yes. So there you go. So overall, this season 2, but obviously episode 2.
I preferred episode 1.
You preferred episode 1, did you? I think this was just a vehicle. I know there's like little subplots running through this, but I think the whole episode was just getting Otto Hightower to
ousted
to lose his position as Hand of the King. So,
well, even when he's lost the position, he's still plotting to get it back.
Yeah, I think he's got to go. I think at this point, in this kind of show, he's got to go back to where do they live? The
Old Town.
Old Town. So he's got to go and keep his head down. Otherwise, he's going to lose it. As simple as that.
That was a good way of putting it.
Yeah. That's it. So there you go. Episode 2.
Out of 10.
Out of 10. I think you've already given the game away from what you just said. I went 6.
You went 6.
I went 6 on the last one.
And I went 7.
I think I enjoyed it. I think I'll give it a 6 because at the moment both episodes have performed above. 5 would be just an average. No, it would be just like I enjoyed it as an average, but I think they are doing well, so I'll give it a 6.
Interesting. I obviously have already said I preferred episode 1, but that doesn't mean this episode was bad. I am also going to give it a 6.
Hey, so you only come down one notch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's it. So, can't wait for the next episode.
Exactly. How long away is that? As of time of recording?
Well, actually, let's finish this review by just saying that's one thing I like about the House of the Dragon, is that you can't cram it all in.
Can't binge watch.
You're enjoying the fact that I've got to wait for a week before I get to see the next episode.
Very true.
And it's like, this is how they should do it. Because what you do is you have a week to discuss all the ins and outs and everything.
Exactly. To theorise, to...
Don't like all the binge watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the boys, I think we got the first 3 episodes, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was nice. I think.
But in my head, all 3 of the first 3 episodes of The Boys, they kind of all blur into one.
Yeah. Although I think I would have preferred it if they just released 2. But with House of the Dragon, they have just literally been 1.
That's all you're going to get.
That's all you're going to get.
You've got to wait till next week.
And that is brilliant. That is brilliant. I love that. So keep it up.
Oh, undoubtedly they will. They'll just show up every other kind of badly written series we've got now.
Yes.
It'll show them up completely.
We shall see.
Hopefully they stick the landing.
Yes.
I wonder how many seasons we're going to get.
I don't know. But I think it will go beyond... I'm guessing 5. We shall see. There you go. Future Zak and Buzz review.
Yeah.
I said 5. Let's see if it goes to season 5.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
See you next one, guys.